Fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November 15th. That fight was originally scheduled for July.
Mike Tyson was all set to step back into the ring, taking on Jake Paul in a fight that had the world buzzing. But just as the hype reached its peak, Tyson revealed a troubling health update. He's struggling to walk, and now the entire fight is in jeopardy. With Tyson's legendary toughness pitted against his body's limits, the question on everybody's mind is, will this fight even happen, or has time finally caught up to Iron Mike?
Don't look like no Tyson at 58, though,
No,
right?
No, he was much slower.
Mike Tyson's health has been a hot topic ever since the announcement of this fight against Jake Paul. At 58 years old, Tyson ain't exactly in the prime condition we remember from his days of dominating the heavyweight division. Over the last few months, he's been dealing with some pretty significant health issues that have raised doubts about whether this fight will even happen. One of the biggest red flags came in July when Tyson had to postpone the original fight date due to severe ulcer flare-ups. He experienced this during a cross-country flight, which shook things up. What's even more concerning now is Tyson's current struggle with mobility. He recently admitted that it's hard to walk right now, which is something nobody wants to hear from a boxer preparing for a major fight. Tyson's known for his toughness and determination, but these health challenges is hard to ignore. When you hear that it's difficult for him to walk, it makes you wonder just how much strain his body is under at this stage of his life.
Later this fall, he is back in the ring at age 58 to pummel a kid from YouTube.
These health issues is casting a long shadow over the fight, making a lot of people question whether Tyson should step into the ring at all. On one hand, you got Tyson saying that he'll be perfect by the time the fight comes around in November. But on the other hand, there's the reality of his current condition. If walking is a challenge now, how will he manage the physical demands of a high-stakes fight against somebody like Jake Paul? It's not just about getting in shape anymore. It's about whether his body can handle the pressure, and that's what's making everybody, from fans to organizers, a little uneasy. Mike Tyson remains unwavering in his belief that hard work in the gym will get him through. It's a mindset that he's carried throughout his career, and he's applying it now more than ever. For Tyson, it's not just about showing up on fight night, but about the intense preparation that happens behind the scenes. He's been sparring again and insists that he'll be perfect by the time the November 15th fight with Jake Paul rolls around. That confidence is classic Tyson. He's always been somebody who pushes himself to the absolute limit, trusting that his training will get him back in shape no matter the odds. Tyson's statement that the fight is won in the gym carries weight, especially for somebody who has spent his entire life in combat sports. He's been open about ramping up his training, even though walking has become a challenge for him right now. The boxer has said that he's feeling a little shaky at the moment, but he fully believes that he'll be in peak condition in 2 months. In his mind, the hard work he's putting in at the gym will pay off by fight night, and there ain't no doubt that he's putting in the effort. He's so far sparred for about 6 rounds, and he intends on increasing his pace as the fight night draws near. But here's the thing, Tyson's determination can only go so far against the physical toll of his age and health issues. As much as he's committed to the fight, the reality is that his body has shown signs of wear and tear. Now, it's one thing to push through soreness or exhaustion, but Tyson's dealing with more serious issues like his mobility problems and a recent ulcer flare-up. As determined as he is, there's a real concern about whether his body can take the strain of a professional boxing match. Tyson's commitment to training is strong. The fight ultimately hinges on whether or not he passes a series of medical evaluations. These aren't just standard checkups. Given his age, 58, and the health issues that he's grappling with lately, these tests is designed to ensure that he's physically fit enough to step into the ring. The organizers, especially Netflix, who is heavily invested in broadcasting the event, are particularly concerned about Tyson's health. They already see him pull out of the July fight due to an ulcer flare-up, and now with Tyson struggling to walk, well, it's understandable that they want to make sure that he's not risking serious injury. The Texas licensing regulators will be the key players in determining whether the fight even happens. They're the ones who will decide if Tyson is medically cleared to fight. A day before the scheduled bout, Tyson will undergo an intensive evaluation. These regulators have the power to cancel the fight if they find that Tyson isn't in good enough condition to safely compete. And the stakes are incredibly high here. unlike most other major fights, there's no backup plan in place. Jake Paul has already said that there's no replacement fighter lined up if Tyson has to withdraw, which means that if he doesn't pass these medical tests, the fight's off entirely. This puts both Tyson and the event organizers in a difficult position. On the one hand, Tyson is eager to prove that he can still go toe-to-toe with a much younger opponent like Jake Paul. On the other hand, there's the very real possibility that the fight could be scrapped if the medical team finds even a slight concern. These tests aren't something Tyson can prepare for in the gym. They're based entirely on his physical condition at the time of the evaluation. If his body ain't holding up, the regulators will have no choice but to step in and cancel the fight.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, November 15th, live on Netflix. The great Mike Tyson, everybody.
As the November 15th fight date draws closer, the pressure is starting to mount for both Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. On one side, Tyson is racing against time, trying to overcome his health issues and prove that he's ready for the fight. His confidence hasn't wavered, but with his mobility problems and ongoing health concerns, the ticking clock is a major factor. He knows that every day counts, and he's banking on his training to pull him through. On the other side, Jake Paul is facing the challenge of preparing for a fight that might not even happen. While he's been known to talk big and push boundaries, even he must be feeling the stress of such an uncertain situation. One of the adjustments already made to account for Tyson's age and condition is the decision to shorten the fight rounds. Initially, the fight was set to have longer rounds, but now it's down to 2-minute rounds over 8 rounds. Now this is a major change, especially when you think about Tyson's legendary endurance during his prime. The shorter rounds are likely designed to reduce the strain on his body, but it's also something that could work in Jake Paul's favor. However, Jake Paul has suggested increasing the fight to 10 rounds with 3 minutes each. The suggestion hasn't been taken up yet, but it adds another layer of uncertainty. Would a fight format change again, or would they stick to what's already been agreed upon? What makes the entire situation even more nerve-wracking is that there's no backup plan if Mike Tyson can't make it to the fight. Jake Paul has been really clear about this. If Tyson ain't able to fight, there isn't another opponent lined up to take his place. This isn't a typical situation where an understudy is waiting in the wings. If Tyson can't compete, the fight's off, plain and simple. Now that puts enormous pressure on Tyson to pass his medical test and be fit enough to fight, because there ain't no safety net here. If the fight does get canceled due to Mike Tyson's health, it's highly unlikely that it'll be rescheduled again. Tyson has already had to postpone the original fight from July to November, and with his ongoing health concerns, the idea of pushing the fight back once more seems unrealistic. Both fighters have packed schedules, and the logistics of organizing such a high-profile event mean that once it's canceled, it's probably done for good. So, what are your thoughts on all of this? Let us know in the comments section down below.